Steal a brain rot. Plants versus brain rot. Steal a fish. What are we doing out here, guys? This is a game that somehow reached 5 million, actually 10 million, actually 20 million players. Guys, that's a catastrophically gigantic number for a Roblox game. Jailbreak having 34,000 players in 2017 used to look massive. Adopt Me having 100,000 players in 2020 used to seem huge. Now, what the hell is this game with 20 million? David Bazuki called it a great game. Freecraft interestingly said that games like that are more fun than most old Roblox games and that all tycoons and hobbies are boring. Freecraft, come on, bro. What are we doing? Games like Steal a Brain Rot are soulless as hell. Old hobbies and tycoons, which I'll admit are kinda boring, are still not soulless, unlike this garbage. Now from what I know, Steal a Brain Rot is a product of something called RetroSop, which I think most of you know what it is, but in case you don't, RetroSop is when people try to shoehorn in old Roblox styles into modern Roblox where it doesn't fit. But the thing is, successfully executing the classic style into modern games can be done correctly, and when it is, it's peak. For example, Dead Rails. That game has a classic style, and it came out this year, in its peak. 99 Nights in the Forest, also a modern game with a classic style, and it's also peak. Steal a Brain Rot, soulless as hell. When I spawned in Steal a Brain Rot, the game was pointing me to some ugly ass brain rot. I then looked at the player list and saw somebody has 1.4 billion cash, and then somebody below them has 37 million. So that's good. Both of these kids were definitely not born any year before 2012. So the game asked me to go buy some of the Beanie Pizzanini, which I don't know if it's a real brain rot character or if the developer made it up or something. So I paid my cash, and this guy started walking to my base and ready to serve me. And when he arrived, he started making me some money. I hope this isn't some kind of historical reference. And this is when I discovered the locking your base mechanic. So when I went back out to look for more people to buy, this is when I realized that's all this game is. And barely 3 minutes in, this Generation Alpha child, who was probably born in 2010, randomly started to attack me. So if you're new here and you think this was purely accidental, this was not an accident by any means. Here's exactly what happened. This child, who was probably born in 2010, looked at the player list and saw me with a star icon, and he thought to himself,
"You're worse than a murderer, you're worse than a racist, you're worse than a you're worse than a
and then he proceeded to exclusively target me from this point on. For more info, watch this video. So as soon as he hit me, he flew away with that carpet that he probably spent hundreds of Robux on. So I went back to trying to find more brain rots to buy, and pretty quickly afterward, he came back and hit me and bolted away again. So I made sure to tell him, "Rum boy." So this Generation Alpha child made it clear that he declared war on me for some reason. Next time he tried to fly to me, I anticipated this time, and I stood over his limp body like Muhammad Ali. He didn't fly away yet though, because he made sure to land a hit and then fly away. Now he did this because he has a child mindset. Kids like to get the quote-unquote last kill or last hit. It's where you keep fighting until you win, and then you leave after winning, after losing 9,000 times in a row. And this kid implemented a new strategy. He started to feint his attacks, and as soon as he attacked me for real, he immediately got his ass handed to him. I started running away toward my base, and knowing he's about to chase me down, I planned the nastiest juke. So when I got back home, I made sure to tell him, "Get juked, boy." So I got in the mood to waste a bunch of Robux. So I saw the Banhammer, which is advertised to fling people to the moon. So I bought it. And this Banhammer that costs 1.5k Robux, which is advertised to fling people to the moon, does absolutely nothing if somebody's sitting in that stupid ass carpet. And when I did actually hit him, he didn't even fling that much. I thought this item was actually gonna fling people to the moon. In our next battle, I proceeded to absolutely own him as he kept trying to catch me off guard. And I made sure to tell him, "Get clapped, boy." And he started to faint again for some reason, so I stopped hitting him and I proceeded to read him like a book. So I told him, "Get read like a book, boy." He again started fainting, and I got the nastiest read yet again. And of course, after he got the one singular hit, he flew away. So I made sure to tell him, "Keep flying away like a good boy." To which he said, anyway, I had enough of that server after clapping that child like Bayern Munich clapped Barcelona and left afterwards. Anyway, the main point of Steal a Brain Rot is stealing other people's brain rots. And stealing other people's brain rots is nearly impossible unless you have like some kind of weapons and friends to help you in a server. Yes guys, it's very fun to steal brain rots when every single base is locked 99% of the time, and when one finally opens, your speed will become dysfunctional and you're gonna get caught immediately. This guy who has 37 million cash and 2 rebirths has only 2 steals. Only 2. The actual act of stealing brainrots is insanely tedious and not fun in the slightest. And why the hell would I want to steal brainrots anyway? These things are hideous. Italian brainrot is hideous. What the hell is appealing about these atrocious creatures? Why does a game where you steal hideous AI generated creatures, which looks like a game that my bum ass could make, have 20 million players? Why didn't Dead Rails get 20 million players? The difference in quality between those two games is astronomical. What the f is up with these absolute stupid ass games recently? First we had Twilight Tower Defense in like 2023, which I used to call the worst game of all time. Then we had fucking Grow a Garden, which is just a game where you grow Roblox studs on an empty base plate. Now we got Steal a Brainrot, which looks like a game that was made by a child in an elementary school computer science class, which spawned in this retardation called Plants vs Brainrots, which is as bad of a copy of Plants vs Zombies as fucking Survival Craft was to Minecraft. And we got 20 million Generation Alpha fetuses going, oh look, there's a game called Steal a Clown. Maybe the characters you're stealing should be Roblox developers because you're all a bunch of clowns. Here's that stupid ass Plants vs Brainrots game. So you place the plants, the AI atrocities just go through the plants and there's no consequence of you failing to kill one. This is just a game where you over time get more and more brainrots with no challenge. The only challenge is you're gonna waste hours of your life away. And the successful people that actually contribute to society will be in their deathbeds like, bro, I wish I spent less time pursuing my career and my family and more time grinding Plants vs Brainrots. You spent 24 hours in Plants vs Brainrots? You should have spent 24 decades instead so you could grind $10 million to unlock a new lane. So you can buy new plants to protect your base from these brainrots who do literally nothing to you. So yes, grind 9 hours per day so you can amass a gigantic plant army against these evil brainrots that pose literally no threat to anybody. They're just kind of walking around minding their business, doing no damage to anything. But yeah, just shoot it, man. Just shoot them all, man, because that's what we do. We shoot innocent people. How stupid is this game, guys? Seriously. These developers couldn't give less of a fuck about the classic style. They just know that most people bust to the classic style. And they know that the classic style is insanely easy to achieve because they just have to spam a bunch of studs. So they're smartly abusing our dumbass brains by combining the beloved classic style and this strangely beloved Italian brainrot, which I have no idea why that's beloved. And that resulted in 20 million players. Why it's always the worst games imaginable that break the concurrent players records and not the actual good games like Dead Rails. And then of course you got the absolutely gigantic list of copies because that's just what happens when a game gets popular. A bunch of imbecile idiot developers who have literally zero negative dysfunctional creative abilities go like,
oh yeah, let me just control C, control V this already garbage game and add a fish instead because that's fun. Fish, yay!
Playing Steal a Fish instead of Steal a Brainrot is like playing Minecraft with an ugly ass texture pack. Anyway, sorry for the crash shot, guys, and David Bazooki, just so you know, you call these things games and not experiences, so good job.